This video is on party systems. And so you have some countries that ban political parties. You have some countries that have, or states will say, that have one party. You have some states, countries, excuse me, that have a two-party system. And then you have some countries that have a multi-party system. Um, there are five countries, and I believe they're all in the Middle East that ban political parties. Um, so they're actually illegal, and most of these, or some of these, have monarchs, and obviously these are absolute monarchs where they control everything. They appoint the different people into the government, so they do not allow political parties. Then there are other countries that have one political party, and these are your communist countries where the Communist Party is the only party, and any other parties that are allowed only because the Communist Party allows them, but there's really no competition in them. So North Korea, China, Cuba, they all have one political party, and that is the Communist Party. The United States has a two-party system, and actually I think it's interesting that this is the most, not most common, but actually the least common type of party system where you have two political parties that dominate as much as we have in the United States. Um, I should have put an S at the end of that, but that's okay. So we have hundreds of political parties in the United States. We're just not familiar with any of them because none of them ever have an opportunity to rise or to actually go very far, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So the United States has a two-party system, and this is the least common type. Great Britain and several other countries have multi-party systems. Um, and I put that term plurality down there because if you have three, four, five different political parties, how they do that is um, the makeup in the body, the legislature, is proportional. And what that means is you have 100%. So if 25% goes to one candidate, then they will have 25% of the members of the legislature um, um, that belong to that political party. If 15% um, of the people voted for another party, then they will have 15% of the seats represented by that political party. And then if you have another one that has like 40% and so forth until it equals 100%. I didn't write anything down, so I'm not doing the math in my head right now. So what you have to have, since no one is going to have the majority, which is 51%, you have to have them forming what are called coalitions, and they have to start working together to get 51% of the vote. So that party that has 40% and the party that had 15%, they have to kind of come together and work together. A plurality just means you have more votes than anyone else. So if you have two parties, you can get 51%. It's going to probably be rare that you get 50-50. So you can get a winning side and a losing side. But when you have three or four different political parties, you're never going to, and I shouldn't say never, the odds of you having one party get 51%, which is a majority, is going to be very rare. But you are going to be able to get a plurality, and that just means if one party gets 40% and another party gets 25% and another one gets 15%, once again, I'm not doing the math, so whatever's left, the 40% has the plurality just because they have more people voting for them. They don't have the 51%, which is your majority, but they do have a plurality. So just to kind of recap, you have some countries that have no parties and they ban parties, and once again, a lot of those are absolute monarchs and they just appoint people to the government. You have your communist countries that it's illegal to have or be even a member of any other party but the Communist Party. The United States has a two-party system. The Republicans and the Democrats dominate. Are there other parties? Yes, but the chances of them winning the presidency are slim to none. And then you have some states or some countries that have multi-parties, 4, 5, 6 different parties, and then they distribute those seats in the legislature proportionally based on the percentage that your party wins. And so having a plurality is all that's needed, not a majority. And then they have to form coalitions, which just is to have two different parties come together, work together to get anything done, because you still have to have a majority rule.